Hello and welcome back to Your Greatest Vegas. My name is Shauna Goot and I serve the amazing people of the Las Vegas area. So today we're going to be talking about Zestimates. And I believe most already know what a Zestimate is, but for those who don't, a Zestimate is Zillow's estimate for how much your home is worth. But for the sakes of this video, I'm using the word Zestimate, but I'm really just referring to automated valuation calculators of any sort. Today we're going to dig into where these Zestimates are helpful versus where they're maybe not so helpful. Today as a consumer, there's so many ways to get information about your house, as well as the homes in your community. You can fill out price calculators, pre-qualifying certifications, mortgage estimates, value tracking, all online, and it's a lot of information and it's great information. And it looks great when you're looking at it and it feels empowering to have all of these numbers sitting in front of you. But are they actually correct? Are they doing you the good that you think that they are? And should you trust them? And the answer is sort of. So let me explain what I mean by that. The truth is many of these big box website calculators state in their disclaimer that there's a percentage that it's an error of averaging. So basically it's 5 to 10% error. And you think, oh, 5 to 10%, that's not too bad. But when you're looking at it from a $340,000 house, that can be pretty substantial. But for this case, if we're talking about Zillow, the median error for our area that we're in is only 1.4%. So not terribly off on a $340,000 house. It's about $5,000 is what, give or take $5,000 for that estimate. But if your home is very similar in size and upgrades to your neighbors, then the Zestimate will get you pretty close. You'll get in the ballpark. But for higher end homes, especially custom homes or those homes that have maybe finer finishes, the Zestimates have been known to be way off, like up to $100,000 off or more. Fun fact, did you know that the owner of Zillow listed his home for $1 million over his Zestimate? I digress. So here's the reason why sometimes they're just a little off. So number one, they are an algorithm that averages the sales in your approximate area. So if your home is much larger or smaller than those surrounding homes, the Zestimate's probably not going to be too accurate. You're going to get an overinflated price or an underinflated price. So number two, they don't perform a comparative market analysis. And that can really only be done by an actual person. No algorithm is going to be able to do this. So like a real estate agent, we do comparative market analysis all the time. But it's a very detailed look at your home, and it's a lot more than averaging, I promise. So number three, they don't really account for any renovations or lack thereof. They don't take any of that into consideration. So their calculations are purely coming from the approach that all homes in this general area are about the same. So in some cases that can ring pretty true, and in other cases not so much. And then number four, they weigh their results heavily on the prices that homes have recently been listed at, not necessarily what they've been sold at. So that kind of skews their data a little bit. For example, in my experience, a homeowner might say, well, my Zestimate says my home is worth $452,549. And it's always going to be a random number like that because it's an average. But without fail, as soon as we list that house, the Zestimate miraculously and instantaneously changes to what the listing amount is, either increasing or decreasing. So all of this being said, what happens if you don't have a good and thorough value estimate? Well, first, let me just say, in most cases, I would say that the automated estimate is a good first step, and it's a good to kind of get you in the ballpark to where you need to be. But that information is best paired with a professional real estate agent who can sort of break it down. Your agent will gather a lot more personal information about your particular house, your improvements that you've made, or possibly any repairs that are needed. And then provide that hyper-local data about your neighborhood, your street, and the market conditions. And I can't really stress market conditions enough because these online calculators, all the algorithms don't take any of this into consideration. So if I'm out in the market and I'm seeing, a huge influx of listings hit the market, I know that that's going to affect your pricing, or vice versa. We're seeing a huge amount of listings come off the market. That's also going to affect your pricing. These algorithms can't take any of that into consideration. They don't move quick enough. So as a realtor, I have the tools available to do the research so I know where your home stands compared to other homes and really what market condition we're in. So we can have a good conversation. In fact, I actually do a monthly thorough analysis of our market just to make sure that I can stay ahead of the trends and make sure that I'm giving you the best information and most accurate and thorough information that's in today, the current standards. So knowing your personal and local information can be the major difference in a listing price that's going to get you top dollar with the fewest days on market versus maybe not quite that scenario. So if you don't have that information and you're relying solely on the automated estimate, one of the two things have it's highly likely to happen. So one, you're going to list too high and your home is going to sit because buyers do their research too, as they should. And they're going to see that your home is listed too high. And then if you have to lower your price, even if you're lowering it to market value, statistics show that after you have to lower your price, your home actually sells for under market value because of that price decrease initially. So the other scenario is you're going to list too low and you're going to leave money on the table. No one wants to do that. So one of my strong points is that I know my data and I know this town. So having grown up in Las Vegas, I've not only seen the massive development, but I've lived in many areas of town. So if at this point you're thinking that you may need some guidance around the topic of home valuations, but at the same time not knowing quite when or where to start, I highly encourage you, please reach out. Even if you haven't made up your mind, if you're toying with the idea of a possible move, like, it's totally fine. We can get you the information that you need to make the best decision for your future. And that's really my motivation. So send me a text or message me on the social platforms. That's totally fine. No pressure, no sales tactics, just the help and guidance you need. We'll have a conversation. And then on another note, if you are a resident of Las Vegas, and I invite you to follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. All three of those, we're Your Greatest Vegas. We like to give inside information about living your best life in Las Vegas is really what it's all about. So everything from the best restaurants, fun events, real estate, lifestyle, everything that you want to know about living in this town. I have grown up here, like I said before, so I just want to show how amazing this town really is to live. So follow me, and we also have good home tips. And then if you have any questions about this video or anything that I said, maybe I wasn't clear on something, please reach out, comment below, DM me, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And I will get back to you, always, every time. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I will see you in the next episode.